Welcome to Shambhavi Spectrum. Today, it is such a pleasure to have Saujanya Vinay in Cheer the Champs series. This series is meant for inspiring people, for motivating them, and also to share the achievements of my wonderful champs who are here. Welcome, Saujanya. Thank you so much for finding the time to be here.
Hello, Auntie. Thank you so much for having me.
Saujanya, let's start with the fact that it was such a pleasure to see your name in your graduation accolades, and the one which you won was for CAS. Tell our audience more about what is CAS.
Okay, thank you so much, Auntie. Firstly, CAS is the community action and service aspect of the IB diploma. So it's not a subject, but it's like an additional component that's mandatory for us to pass the diploma essentially. So as the name suggests, there's a creativity aspect, which is to do anything to do with the arts or anything where you express yourself. There's the action aspect, which is anything to do with physically exerting yourself. And then there's the service aspect, which focuses on community service and helping people that aren't yourself. So, in that aspect, I genuinely enjoy doing projects that are linked to these three topics. So, in terms of creativity, I have been a very passionate singer and dancer since I was an extremely young age. So, since that was something I did over the course of my normal life, I was able to incorporate that into the creativity aspect. In terms of the action aspect, as I mentioned earlier, I have also enjoyed doing dance for a really long time. So I was able to incorporate that and other physical activity events that I completed. And in terms of creativity and service combined, I participated in a lot of MUN conferences and also was a part of the secretariat as the Deputy Secretary General for organizing my own MUN conference back in 2019. So these main projects, along with a few other small projects combined, made up my CAS portfolio.
Okay, so I am also aware that your MYP project was also related to something music and
Yes,
right. So for
yes,
those who are not into the system of IB, MYP project is something which students do in their 11th grade when they are finishing, and it is again an essential part of IB. Tell me
yes,
more about it. What was the project specifically? If you can describe what did you actually do during the process of your project?
sure. Okay, so for my personal project during MIP, I knew that I wanted to do something related to music because, as I've been repeatedly saying again and again, it's a very big part of my life and it's something I genuinely enjoy doing. So I thought that since I have been singing since the age of 3 and I've grown up around people who have been very musical, I was very interested in understanding how people who aren't exposed to music at such a young age like I was perceive music and how they learn music and participate in music. So the first thing I did was when I went back home to Chennai over the summer break, I decided to work with and volunteer at Nandavanam Special Learning Center, where it was an after school help center for the local kids of the city to help them not just with their homework, but also with things like social skills, how to deal with overwhelming stress of school and things like that. Because a lot of their parents had never been to school or college and they were first generation schoolgoers. So for something so big, the people there were helping guide them. And I thought it would be nice to introduce a new platform where they could express themselves creatively, and that was music. So over the course of a month, I worked with them. We had a lot of fun singing, playing around, singing Tamil songs, English songs. So I taught them music, and we actually had a mini performance at the end, which I was very, very happy to have. And using that experience, I created an audio and visual module to learn how to sing. So obviously, since singing is an art form, one, it's very subjective. So it's how you perceive it to be. And second, since you need to be able to not only see the music, you need to be able to hear the music as well. I recorded my voice doing vocal exercises and things like that to create the module. And essentially, the reason for this entire project was I strongly believe that even if you like to say that you're a science person or a math person, music need not be something you spend all your time on. But I think that it can be extremely beneficial in your life, even if it's in a therapeutic sense or in a sense of it's just your hobby, your passion. So that was essentially my personal project.
It's wonderful. And again, you have emphasized that music has been an important part
Yes.
of your life, which has motivated you. And I know that you have also learned dance for many years. You recently did your dance arangetram or graduation, as we would probably call it. And
Yes.
so now you've been in dance, you've been in music, you've done MUN yourself, and also all the other components of your CAS project. Tell me, how do you manage your time?
Okay. So honestly, I would love to say that I'm great at time management, but that would be a lie. So I think the way that I've learned to manage my time is both accumulation of trial and error and also having the interest to do many activities and wanting to make time to make sure I can incorporate all of them. So, Andy, like you mentioned, I do really enjoy music, dance, MUN, and many other activities that pique my interest. I love to try them all out. So, something I learned is that first of all, it's important to understand that everything is not going to go the way that you envision it, and you may not necessarily have the time and energy to do everything your heart desires. So, swallowing that pill was a little hard for me, but once I did, I found that it was much easier to manage my time, and also I was able to focus on the components that I believe I would not say had a greater importance, but I wanted to invest more time in. So I realized that it's very important to kind of visualize if you're a visual learner or write down if you prefer that. What are the things you have to do and how you'd like to prioritize them? Because I'm a firm believer that if you have an interest, go for it. Like if you want to do three things, do the three things. Just find your way to work around it. So ensure that you have your priorities in mind. So for example, I always ensured that no matter what I did, it did not compromise or hinder my school or academics because I believe that I should be able to do them both hand in hand. So I ensured that I had enough time dedicated to school, but I also dedicated enough time to my music, my dance, and my MUN. So I think if you have an interest, definitely go for it. Just ensure that you either write down and physically plan yourself out or that you start prioritizing so you get to every single activity, but you know in which order or in which order of importance.
So, have you always been this enlightened, or was it suddenly one day you got up and said, "No, I need to do this"? Or were you always the same Saujanya who was in grade 9 or grade 7? Are you the same Saujanya?
I think in the terms of wanting to do absolutely everything that exists, I have always been like that. But in terms of accepting that I can't do everything that exists, I have not always been like that. Like I said, it was a very hard pill to swallow for me. And I think I've learned as I've grown up and done activities and learned from my mistakes.
So I'm aware that your family, you come from artistic background, your grandmother and your mom and the people around you. So do you think really that the environment that you were born and brought up in really helped you to become what you are? And for those people who are not born and brought up in that, do you think it's more of a challenge?
So I think the environment around me definitely was encouraging and comforting because I don't know if I'd say that they were my inspiration or because of them I'm artistic or I'm artistic and their support helped me further it. I'm not really sure what it is. I think it might be a combination of both. But I think, yes, the environment around me, because everybody was not just musical, but they were interested in it. They did not push it aside or say that, no, you need to study first or you need to focus on other interests. They really encouraged it. So I think that really helped me explore what I was truly interested in and helped me figure that out. And in terms of people who are in an environment that doesn't necessarily cater to their interests, I understand that it can be challenging if the people around you aren't doing the thing you want. So they may not understand the importance it has to you. But I don't think it is an obstacle. While it might be challenging, I don't think it needs to stop you as long as you are sure of yourself that that's what you want to do. And the people around you understand that it's something that you're interested in or are still willing to encourage you. I don't see it as something that needs to stop your passion.
So one of the things which I have to say about your Arangetram, your dance graduation, and congratulate you on that, apart from the fact that you did an amazing performance, I was
Thank you.
very, very, what should I say, very happy and proud to know you that you also gave your siblings an opportunity to come in there and be an integral part of it. Because somehow, somewhere down the line, when it is your moment to shine on, are you ready to share it with others? That is a very, I think, question which probably comes into everybody's mind. So was this idea yours, or was it suggested and you liked it and you adapted to it? What actually went behind your sisters giving a performance there with on their instruments, and as well as comparing the occasion?
Okay, so in terms of my sisters being a part of my event, I think it came up mutually during a discussion between my mother and I honestly loved the idea because I truly believe that without the input or help and support and love from all the people around me, my event would not have been possible. So while I can't call it my event because it was my graduation, it would not be possible without all the people around me who helped and everyone's support, like even your support, Auntie, like everybody's support, whether it's physically helping during my performance or attending the event or supporting me throughout the years, the event would not have been possible. So I was extremely excited by the idea that my sisters would be able to perform because due to the pandemic, all three of us have not been able to perform and pursue our interests as much as we would have previously. So I was very happy that they also had an opportunity to perform on a stage that, it's our own school. It kind of became like a family event where I also got to perform, my sisters also got to perform. So I was very happy that that was possible.
That is really wonderful. Tell me about the school that you mentioned. What kind of support have you received from the school for your various activities concerning, especially the MUN or the other activities that you've taken part in? I know you've traveled abroad also. What kind of support did you receive from the school and guidance
Okay,
as well?
so yeah, so I've been in the school since year 7, and I just graduated this year as the batch of 2021. So ever since I've joined the school, I always looked out for opportunities in the arts because, as I continuously keep repeating, it's something I genuinely enjoy and I'd love to keep pursuing. So when I came, the first thing I believe I was a part of was the school production. So that's something I believe Emirates International School, like my school or my former school, does really well. We have a production every year, and every 2 years it's a musical. So that was something I was extremely excited about, and I ensured I participated in every single year. So while I started out as like an extra side character, and then I kind of built my way up into becoming a more, main character, main figure in the productions, that's something I believe our school does really well, and the productions are really nice. And in terms of music, we have events such as Live Lounge and the talent show and Saving with Sounds. And I think that really encourages and caters to the musical side of our school. So Live Lounge is a concert where, as the name suggests, everything is live. So from the performers to the musicians, everything is played live. So the environment is very nice, and I've genuinely enjoyed all the live lounges I've taken part in. And in terms of Saving with Sounds, it's actually a charity concert that we put up, and I had the opportunity to organize it in uh, February of 2020, along with my seniors. Right before the pandemic, we were able to have the event. And that was when the Australian bushfires were going on. So we decided that we'd name our event Rising from the Ashes, and all the proceeds from the tickets would go into supporting the victims and just supporting their efforts. So, in terms of things like that, I really enjoyed being able to participate. The only thing that I wish our school had on a bigger scale is a choir. So I was a part of my old school's choir for many, many years, and that's something I really enjoyed. So that's something I wish I could have incorporated in the school. I tried, but I think it takes time. It's not something that can just happen overnight. And so that was the musical aspect. In terms of MUN, I've actually spoken to some of my friends from other schools, and I've learned that our school is actually pretty good with MUN. We get a lot more free reign than other schools. So, as I mentioned, there's a secretariat team of 5, usually that makes up the main organizing team. And I was able to be a part of that organizing team in 2019. And we got a lot of free reign in the decisions we made in terms of how to manage our funds, who are the suppliers that we call, contacting schools and things like that. So I think in terms of that, I'm pretty fortunate that I got to be, I was able to organize such events being a part of the school.
Very nice. So I know that you're on your way to study for law. What is Saujanya Vinay doing 5 or 7 years down the line? Tell me that. What does it look like?
So that's uh, quite an overwhelming question right now. um, I'd love to say that I'd definitely be either done studying or pursuing another degree in law. I'd be, or most probably, I'd be a practicing lawyer, either as a part of a firm or, yeah, I'd be a practicing lawyer. I'd have many cases, hopefully, that I have won and I have done well in. But I'm also definitely still pursuing music and dance on the side as a hobby. And yeah, I think those are the main pictures I can see myself in. But I feel like I'm the kind of person, I really like to live in the moment and live for right now. So I'd love to assume that this is how I'd be living, and it would be great. But if it did change, then I don't think I'd be too disappointed. But I hope that all these aspects in my life do continue to persist.
Thank you so much, Saujanya, for your time. And is there any last, kind of mantra that you live by, or any words that you would like to share with the audience before we say bye?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Auntie, for having me. It was really, really a pleasure, being able to talk to you, not only for your Spectrum, for your series, but also as somebody who's genuinely supported me for many years and always, been, I can say, a friend, not just to me, but my mother as well. But in terms of things I live by, I think I wouldn't say this necessarily like a mantra or like a quote, but I'd say it's more like an idea. I think that I think I might have mentioned this earlier, but if you have a passion or something like that, I genuinely believe you should go for it, because many a times you might feel discouraged, not just by the environment around you, but by yourself, because you might not feel that you're up for it. So even if you don't want to do it on a larger scale, on a stage in front of an audience, do it by yourself in your room. So I think genuinely you should go out and reach for what you love. And also, there's something that I hear quite often: if you make your work something you love, then it's not work anymore. But I feel like I have a bit of a conflicting opinion with that quote, because sometimes I feel that if something I love becomes work for me, or if it's a project and it has a deadline, I don't love it as much anymore. So I think that it's important to understand that while it's nice to do what you love all the time, just keep in mind that you need to take breaks from everything, even if it's something you love or something you dislike. Everything in moderation is what I believe.
Wishing you a very musically swinging, as in dancing, journey to the courts of your dreams, Saujanya. Thank you for being here. Bye for now. Hang in there. I'll talk to you offline. All right. Thank you.
So much.
Bye.
Thank you.